Good morning, class 8. Today I am going to start a fresh topic. The name of the chapter which I am going to start today is Circulatory System in Man. So, when we are starting this chapter, so you just need to know first what is circulation and what is circulatory system. So, let me tell you what is circulation. The process by which various necessary substances means important substances, essential substances which a body requires, like the nutrients which we intake in form of food, the respiratory gases irrespective of any kind of gases like oxygen or carbon dioxide, that is not the matter of lookout, but yes, respiratory gases. Hormones, which is your biological messengers. Why biological messengers? Because they generally send messages. Enzymes, the biological catalyst. The minerals which a body intakes, as well as the excretory products which are need to liberate out from the body from time to time, are transported to the respective organs of the body. That process has been termed as circulation. So in simple word, you can say circulation is that biological process which is just helping you in the circulation of essential ingredients, not ingredients, requirements like your nutrients, oxygen, hormone, enzymes, minerals, carbon dioxide, toxic elements, waste material to the different respective organs so that they can get their future process to continue. That is called your circulation. Now you need to know what is circulatory system. So obviously the system which is concerned with circulation, so circulation means is just to circulate, just to spread. So the system which is helping you to perform all these vital activity of spreading the different important nutrients, hormones, enzymes, your toxic excretory substances to their respective organs so that they can get excreted out from the body. That system is called your circulatory system. So the system which is concerned with the transport of nutrients, respiratory gases, hormones, metabolic intermediate means metabolic products which is being formed, or metabolic compound, intermediate compounds which is being formed after undergoing the process of metabolism, excretory products from one part of the body to the other by means of circulation. That system is called circulatory system. Now let me tell you this, that circulatory system is also being referred as cardiovascular system. Why it is referred as cardiovascular system? Because it permits, that means it allows the blood to circulate. Obviously blood is the circulating fluid, the main circulating fluid which is being found in the body. The first major most important circulating fluid is your blood. So in all these nutrients, hormones, enzymes, toxic elements, these are actually getting transported through blood. Even lymph is also there, but blood is the most important circulating fluid. So so why I'm saying cardiovascular, obviously because this blood is helping you to transport the different products from one part of the cell to the other part, and also helps the different cells to draw their nourishment, also makes the cell to capable of them for fighting different diseases, then help you in maintaining the stability of your temperature, pH, and helps in maintaining of homeostasis. Homeostasis means water balance. The amount of water lost will be equal to the amount of water gained. Okay, so now I'm going to focus on the structure of circulatory system. So the structure of circulatory system is obviously it will consist of heart and the blood vessels. Heart is the main organ of circulatory system, and blood vessels are also an important part of circulatory system, because through the blood vessel only blood is going to flow from one portion of the body to the other portion. That means entire flow of blood is being controlled by the blood vessels which are present throughout our body. Now blood circulatory system is called a closed circulatory system. Why it is closed? Because obviously it's been a very vital organ of the body. It needs to be remain protected. It cannot get damaged in small conditions. So it's a very vital organ. So that's why it has to be protected every time. So that's why it's remain covered with many layers. It remains covered so that it remains in a proper protected condition. That's why it's called closed circulatory system, and also it is found within the body. Okay, now we are going to go into the details of the heart, which has been found in a human body. Okay, so let me tell you first where do you get the heart and how the heart looks like. So first of all, heart is a conical, muscular, involuntary. Why involuntary? Because you cannot control the movements of heart. It is involuntary. It will not according to your will. It will according to the will. It will act according to their mode of action. It's not going to act according to our choices. So it's an involuntary hollow organ of about 12 centimeter long. That means the length is 12 centimeter, breadth is 9 centimeter, and it weighs from 250 to 350 gram. It's just, the weight is not approximate weight, it's just an calculated average weight. Now you need to know where it is situated. It is situated in your thoracic cavity, that means in your chest cavity, and to be very specific, it is situated behind the sternum. Behind the sternum, sternum means your breastbone. Obviously situated at the back behind the breastbone, but it has to be situated between your lungs, because you have two lungs in your body, and heart is going to situate it between the lungs, tilted towards the left. And the muscles which are present in heart, that is called your cardiovascular muscles or involuntary muscle. Again, the same thing, doesn't work on our choices. It will act according to their mode of action. I have also given an animation video in this portion, so that you can see how the beating takes place. See again, you can see the beatings, how it's been pumping, just to show the mechanism of pumping of heart. Now next we are going to do the layers of human heart. Obviously, when we are moving into the layers of human heart, the first most important layer is pericardium. So if we view the heart from externally, then the first which we are going to visualize, that is your pericardium. So let me tell you what is a pericardium. Pericardium is the external structure which is covering your heart. The whole heart is being covered by a double layered membranous sac, which is called pericardium. Within a pericardium, a small serous fluid is being present, which is termed as pericardial fluid. What is the utility of this pericardial fluid? The utility of this pericardial fluid is that it acts as a shock absorber. That is the utility of that pericardial fluid. And it also contains different cardiums, like your outer epicardium, middle thick myocardium, inner thin endocardium. Then it contains your the endothelial cells also, which we are going to move step by step. But first we need to know what was pericardium and what was pericardial fluid. With that, even I have given some pictures and one animation video also. In the picture you can see the pericardium, how the pericardium marking is done. You can see that come at the end of the picture, you will see the pericardial cavity. Now these are the different portions of pericardium, where you are getting your fibrous, serous, parietal pericardium. Visceral, parietal means outside, visceral means inside. So much details you don't need to know right now, but just you need to know that the outer layer, which is protecting the external covering, the first external covering which is protecting the heart, that is being termed as pericardium. Even I have given a small animation video showing the pericardial movement. It is actually, even I have also given an animation video to show the movement, to show the beating of pericardium. It's actually not the beating of pericardium, it is actually the pericarditis disease, like obviously the beating of pericardium, but when the beating becomes little irregular or vigorous. You can see how it is going, that vigorous movement when it is not following the normal pattern. That time it happens that a person is suffering from a pericardium disease. That is called pericardial disease or pericarditis. What is pericarditis? It's an inflammation of pericardium. Inflammation of pericardium means swelling of the pericardium. Now these things can only be observed by utilizing specialized cardiogram, which is called an electrocardiogram. This video is just to show you that process. Okay. Now next I am going to come into the different more layers of heart, like as I was talking about epicardium, myocardium, endocardium. So epicardium, this is the outermost layer of the heart, and it is composed of your thin layered membrane. Wow, that thin layered membrane helps them to lubricate, helps in lubrication purpose, and also helps to protect the outer surface. Myocardium, myo stands for middle. That means that this is a layer of muscle tissue which is being found to be present at the middle of the heart. What is its function? It contributes to the thickness and also responsible for pumping action. Endo means inner portion. That means the innermost layer that is found at the inner part of inner chambers of the heart, even covering the heart valve. That is called your endocardium. And last comes your endothelium. Endothelial is the surface of the heart chambers which are lined by a thin layer of cells. That cells are termed as endothelial. A picture is also been given showing the layers of the heart wall. See, it's the upper yellow portion is being termed as your epicardium because that is the outer portion. If I do a section, see the arrow, if they have taken a section from that portion, and if I try to dissect them and find the different parts, then this yellow portion will be termed as your epicardium, middle portion will be termed as myocardium, and the inner portion where your vascular system is found to be present, tissue system, that is called your endocardium. Now we are going to go into the more details of your heart chambers, like how many chambers are present. Now let me tell you, human heart consists of 4 chambers. What are those 4 chambers? 2 atria, which is also known as auricle, and 2 ventricles. Okay. The chambers on the right side of the heart are completely separated from the left side by a muscular portion, which is not a portion, I'll call a partition, because it's separating from the right side with the left side, because right side cannot communicate with the left side. So right side is being separated from the left side by a muscular portion called your septum. Now the part of the septum which is separating the atria, that is called your interatrial septum, and the part which is separating your ventricle, that is called your intraventricular septum. So please keep this in mind. 4 chambers are there, 2 atria, 2 ventricle. Atria and ventricle are separated from each other by a septum. The septum which is separating the atria, that is called interatrial septum, and the septum which is separating the ventricle, that is called interventricular septum. The 2 atria are separated from the true ventricle by a partition called atrioventricular septum. This atrioventricular septum is separating the 2 atria from the 2 ventricles. Okay. Now obviously valves are also being present. Now auricular ventricular aperture are being started, that means guarded by valves, which is called your auricular ventricular valve. Now before coming into auricular ventricular valve, let me tell you what is auricular ventricular aperture. See, as I told you, the left and right side will not communicate with each other. So auricles and ventricle of each side needs to communicate through each other by a small opening. It's not that they are not going to communicate at all. But obviously the rapid communication won't be done, but some sort of communication has to be done, and that communication will be done through auricular ventricular aperture, and that aperture is going to be guarded by your valves, which is known as your AV valves. Now what is the function of this AV valve? The main purpose of the AV valve is to prevent the backflow. That means once the blood is moving in forward direction, that forward blood cannot move into the backward direction. That is just prohibited. Now the left AV valve has two flaps. That means it's like two thin membrane which has been present, which I will show you in the next picture. That is called bicuspid because it has two cups like structure, and the right AV valve has three cups like structure. That is why it's termed as tricuspid. Okay. The atrial septum is the wall of the tissue that separates the right and the left atria of the heart, as I told you previously, and ventricular septum is just the wall of the heart intermediate to right and left ventricle. That means it's separating the right and left ventricle, and interatrial septum is separating the right and left atria. Now I have also given an animation over here just to show the different chambers of the heart. That means your atria and your ventricle. So just go through, just see the video properly, you can understand. Okay. Next I have given a picture just to make you aware of the different parts. Now see, the first come from your right hand side. See the first portion which has been marked as left common carotid artery. This is the artery, but left common carotid artery, don't need to do more in detail. This is just a picture to make you aware of the different parts of your heart. Directly come into the pulmonary veins. There are four pulmonary veins, one the right side and one your left side. Okay, can you see the left auricle, the left atrium? Okay, the left ventricle, then comes your right atrium, right ventricle. Okay, and then you have your pulmonary artery. Please follow the markings. Above your pulmonary artery you have the vena cava, through where your blood will be intaken. You at the down you have your inferior vena cava. This is at the end portion is called your apex, and many more markings are there, but right now you don't need to concentrate on so many things. Just what names I took, you just try to figure out those markings from the picture. And this is just an internal structure of heart, how the heart looks like. So as I was talking, auricles, two atria and two ventricle. Another term for atria is auricle. So what are the purpose of this auricle? Auricle acts like receiver of blood. They receive the blood for the pump. Who will in human body, who is being termed, which organ is termed as pump? The heart. What is the function of the ventricle? Once the auricle is receiving the blood, the ventricle is going to distribute that received blood. Auricle receive the blood through veins. See in the picture also, this is the anatomical picture which I have shown you. Through the pulmonary veins the blood will be flowed in, and the auricles are going to receive the blood from the pulmonary veins. Okay, left auricle receive oxygenated blood through the pulmonary vein. Obviously, to be more specific, the left auricles are going to receive the oxygenated blood through the pulmonary veins, and right auricle is going to receive the deoxygenated blood from rest of the body, and then enters the right auricle through three openings. Right auricle is receiving the blood from, it's collecting the deoxygenated blood from rest of the body, receiving it, but when it's receiving it, it needs to receive through some openings. What are the opening? Anterior vena cava, posterior vena cava, and coronary sinus. Now I have given you two animations. You can see one animation to show you the chambers. The different chambers are being shown, like your right, left, then right ventricle, left ventricle, and this is a animation in GIF format to show you the process of circulation that takes place in human body. Okay, so today it was till this much. Now you have some work assignment based on today's topic. Now I know the chapter has not been completed. Next part of the chapter will be continued in next class. Before that, you need to do the work assignment, and you have to do the work assignment in your life science worksheet copy. I repeat, you need to do your work assignment in life science worksheet copy. So I'm repeating the question. The first question is define circulation. Next question is what is circulatory system. Third question is what are the different components of circulatory system. Fourth question is give the location of heart. Fifth question is what is pericardium. Sixth question is what is endothelium. Seventh question is name the different valves and also give their location. 8th question is differentiate between auricle and ventricle. 9th question is what do you mean by AV aperture, and 10 is what is interauricular and ventricular septum. Okay, thank you class 8 students. I hope I was clear what I was trying to convey to you through this video. If you still have any queries or doubt, please feel free to get them clarified, but you need to get them clarified through the given mail ID. For any queries or doubts, you just need to mail me at the given ID which is been given at the end of this video, because any other form of communication won't be entertained. So please, your doubts or queries should be mailed me at the given email ID, that is ankita.sma@outlook.com. Even you need to mail your homework assignment in this given mail IDs only. I hope I was clear. Thank you.